It is December 22nd, 2020. We're here on the rooftop of the house at 3424 Governor Drive in San Diego, California, 92122. We have two bathrooms that are back to back with each other. So right here is our 2-inch vent for the two toilets. This is going to lead down into the beginning of the main sewer line. We've got some cobwebs in the line, so we may need to clean those off as we go down the pipe here. So a little bit of debris on that line right there, so we're going to pause for 1 second, wipe that off, and re-show the vertical vent. Okay, so we've wiped off the camera lens here to get a crystal clear view. So this is a copper vent line. They do use copper pipes for drain, waste, and vent pipes on occasion, and this will transition to cast iron. So right here you can see this is now transitioning into the cast iron. Here's the openings right here where the toilets dump into the line, so you can kind of see the wet and the debris on the walls of the pipe right there. Then here's our transition from the horizontal line right here. So we just finished that vertical. So this horizontal pipe now is going to run, I believe, towards Governor Drive, the front of the house. We have a little T-junction right there that picks up the other toilet as well as the other fixtures for this bathroom. So this is original cast iron pipe. You can see there's a little bit of dental floss on the bottom of the pipe there. We don't recommend dental floss be flushed down the line. It's hard for it to clog up the main sewer, but it's just not good. It's not going to move down the system. So you can see there's some buildup of scale and deposits on the bottom and bottom sides of the pipe, and that's going to be typical with cast iron. A little bit of debris right there just coming in from the sinks and showers. The house is occupied, so even though we have this little bit of scale and buildup, which isn't very much right now, when we don't see any paper feces mounded up or stuck it anywhere, then we're really not worried about it at all. Over time, if it ever got worse, then sometimes it can be scraped with a chain knocker system or flushed with a hydro jetter, but it doesn't need that at all right now. We're basically looking for any foreign debris or objects that might be in the system that got in there somehow. Any cracks, breaks. Looks like we've got a new piece of ABS pipe here. So this might be a little clean out. So yeah, right on the top of the line right there, you can see that there's a access point. I believe at the very front of the house, there is a clean out box right past the foundation wall. That's probably where this is, and we'll verify that. But we'll continue down this line right here. So you see that short piece of ABS, then right back to the cast iron, and it's a good clean transition. Pipe still looks in good condition. Like a little bit of cobwebs there on the top of the pipe. Those aren't roots, those are just little cobwebs. Okay, there's the original property line clean out. So what you're seeing right there is that vertical upsweep on the pipe, and that's typically going to be several feet in front of the sidewalk area. It's not usually been brought to surface, especially with older homes, but that's what you're seeing right there in the top of the screen is that property line clean out. When we build homes, that's used for the testing purposes to fill the system up with water to make sure it's holding and not leaking anywhere. and then it's just basically covered up. New homes, they do have to bring that to surface and they have it exposed. Okay, so we have a little turn on the line right here. Still cast iron pipe. Still no problems, everything still looks good and clean. Okay, here's another turn on the line. This one here actually may be the official property line off the county assessor's record, essentially. But we've got another turn and a sweep right here. So right here, the line, this horizontal line, is going to be making a vertical downturn. Now, if it's a straight 90 instead of a 45, these straight 90s will make it very difficult for the camera to get by this point. So we'll see if we can maneuver through here or not. It does appear to be a 90, so the front of the camera is a spring, so it's very loose. It made the turn, but the push rod that's behind every camera system, this is very stiff, and so it's unlikely that this is going to continue to go down the line, but we'll obviously see if we get lucky here. It is moving down the system. There we go. Now we did make another transition, so now right here at this vertical there's a second 90 in a row, and so basically you can see we actually even got some debris on the face of the camera there during that process of trying to make the second 90. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to pause the video for a second, run some water down the system to, one, clean off the lens, and two, to see if the water will help reduce the friction and help carry the push rod possibly past the second 90. Not a guarantee, but we're going to of course give that a try. Okay, so right now we just turned the camera on so you can see this attempt, so you can see all the water cascading by. So we're in this vertical pipe. See, I believe we've made the transition to look down the horizontal. I don't know if it's going to actually pass across this or not. We have one other special camera that we'll give it an attempt to. Just came up through that 90 again. We're going to get kind of a running start. Yeah, so we're hitting the lip of the pipe right there. So as you can see, the water that's going by in the image there, this is the 90, and typically this cast iron 90 right here transitions into clay pipe, and sometimes there's a lip where the two different materials meet, or this could again just be we're stuck on the last edge of the cast iron, so the distance we're out and having to make two 90s in such quick succession of each other, essentially it's very difficult for it to maneuver past this point. So we have one very small camera that we're going to try to tape to the end of the front of this one and see if we can get past this point. If we can't with that, then what we'll do is we'll pull back to the property line clean out. So what we're going to do right here, since we have no real image right here, is pull this back, and we're going to tape again another camera. If we can't even get that camera by the area, then this property line clean out right here that we came up to, we'll locate where this is at on the property, so that in the future, if the city doesn't do anything with their pipe past the property line, then we'll go ahead. Oops, we just had a little glitch on our computer here. Okay, so we moved off the rooftop because we got all the way out to, again, by the sidewalk area. But here at the front of the house is the original clean out. It is an old school two-way clean out. So when you go down this pipe right here, it doesn't stay full bore. That's why we don't allow these anymore, and it allows you to go in both directions. They don't allow that. Every fitting has to be directional now, but this was fine when the house was built. So as you come to the bottom of the pipe here, you can see there's actually a big divider in the middle. and that huge cast iron divider lets it go in either direction. The problem with these is that that is blocking a huge portion of the pipe, and so you can't put very large cutting bits on there, and that's why we don't make these anymore, but it was used back then. So we're going to go ahead and try to make the sweep right here that lets you go away from the home. So right here, this is the path that we've already looked at. This is our second camera. Now this is a smaller camera, it's also not self-leveling, but this one taped to the one that we just did will hopefully let us maneuver by those couple 90s and get out to take a look at that other line that we couldn't see, just to make sure we don't see any roots or any other issues there. So here's that little turn on the pipe that we saw. We're now continuing down this cast iron. So this is all pipe that we've already seen. We've now got our second camera about to enter into the system right now. So we'll see. Here is our property line clean out. So here's our 190. Now coming up to our No, that's okay. Sorry. So now we'll go ahead and take a look and see if we can get by this spot. We may need to run water again. So it looks like this is a position we couldn't get the other cameras by from the rooftop because, again, of the amount of turns and the stiffness of the camera. So right here, we'll see if we can jump over this. This is that little transition, should be into clay pipe here. We'll see if we can get by this here. We may turn the water back on again. So there you can see we definitely have clay pipe, looks like starting. So we're going to pause the video for 1 second. We're going to go ahead and run water again through the system. Okay, so we've got the utility sink running, and the homeowner that's present here is going to start running all the other water in the house. If we can't get this little camera to get over that little miniature hump, then we may have to put another camera in the line just to help kind of fill that little gap. But we'll see with the water running if that lets us get up and over, and then we'll continue to push out. So we're just waiting a few seconds here. We're going to start to see water come by here in a couple seconds, but we want to keep this recording so we can see when that occurs. So it looks like we've got some water now starting to come through the system. Trying to maneuver past that spot, but it's definitely still giving us some trouble here, at least with the cameras. There we go, we just got through there. So we're now inside the clay pipe. We'll go ahead and see how far. We taped about 12 or 15 feet in front of our camera lens here. So we may only get that far, or it may help carry the other camera all the way through. We'll see here shortly. We're going to leave this water running to help get through these turns, and then once we get as far as we can get out, we'll then shut the water off to look at everything, to have a clear view. But we're going to keep this recording while we go ahead and, again, keep trying to get this through the system. Okay, so it looks like we've come up to the point where our camera that was taped onto each other has reached that other point. So it doesn't look like we're probably going to be able to get by this last point because of, again, the stiffness of there, but we got this one a little bit farther out. So if we need to, we'll tape it again, but I believe right here we'll have a pretty good view to see of what's going on, if anything, in the clay pipe here. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video and shut the water off. Okay, so we've come up to the water slowing down here, and we're at a hub connection right here. I don't see any root intrusions. I see a little bit of debris. Essentially, you can see on the top of the pipe, the screen, I'm sorry, is the bottom of the pipe. So on the bottom left there's a little bit of debris on there, but I don't think those are roots. I can't exactly, again, say where we're positioned at with this particular camera as far as how much further it has to go. It does look like, as we look forward, that there's a possible turn on the line, where it may be already dumping into the city. So we'll reposition this camera, but in the meantime we're going to pull it out to take a look at what we could see so far with this, and then we'll give one more attempt to get farther out. Just a little bit of debris right there in the system, nothing. There's a clay hub right there, and it's free and clear. That hub is clear. Some cobwebs on the top of the pipe there. Alright, there's the transition already, so we didn't get super far out because we didn't want to try to tape it at first. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video and reposition the camera one more time. Okay, so we got the water running. We're going to shut it off here right now. It'll take a little bit of time for it to dissipate, but we did retape the camera, and we actually put a little leveling centering guide on the front of it to get over the hump. So right now we're just passing by all the areas. So right here, this is the one coupling that we didn't get to on the last pass. And that is not roots, that's just a little bit of debris. And then we'll see as we continue forward here shortly if this is getting to be the end of the line or just a turn. Push our camera out here. May have actually been right at the edge of the city pipe here. We'll see in a second. So we got a lot of water running right now still. We're going to keep just pushing out though again. I believe we're actually in the large city pipe right now. Yep, we're in the large city pipe. So literally we missed that turn, which we thought it might be a turn on that first push out where it's dumping into the city, and that's actually where we're at right now. So basically what you're looking at right here is the actual city. So all the neighbors and other properties are going across this very large clay pipe in the street. So you can see right there. So now we're going to pull back up through here. And now we're coming back across. And then eventually we're going to come back up that turn on the line. That's right here. So there you go. There you can see all that huge volume flowing on the bottom. That's the large pipe. That's the city pipe right there. So now as we come back across, this is the end of this house's lateral. So we've got what appears to be a little bit of broken clay pipe right there, but again, that's all the way right where it dumps into the city. So you can see that little line mark right there. You can see where there's a little separation in the clay from the turn and the way the pipe was pushed together there. As we pull back up, that was literally right here is where we left off with the other camera. Here's that last coupling. Here's this little turn. You can see again there's a little hub. There's the city. As we come back up through there, you can see the little fissure line on the bottom left of the screen. So that's the actual T-junction that's there. So it's not a concern. There's no roots in the line. It's that city T-junction. And everything else looks good in the clay. So we'll show this one more time. We'll come back across all this clay. Clay is the most susceptible to the roots, and we found none, so that's what we're both mostly looking for in this style of pipe. And there was no other issues with the cast iron pipe other than having individual localized stoppages in the house, but the sewer pipe itself is in good condition. There's the property line we just passed. Coming back across that turn right there in the system. And now we're coming back up and out of the clean out right here. So just show this one more time. So here is the side of the house. Here is this two-way clean out on the front. So that concludes the recording for this property.